Hi everybody, this is Priscilla with the Osho Zen Tarot reading for the new moon in Capricorn on the 9th of January 2016. You'll notice that I'm using the headset here and I'm hoping that it's nice and clear. I happen to be right by the sea and it's incredibly windy, and I'm also quite near a rather major road, so it's a bit full on at the moment, but it's also probably the energy of the times of the moment too. I was reading just the other day, not the other day, I was reading this morning that the energy of this particular new moon is very similar to a full moon energy in regards to all the other planetary aspects that are happening at the moment. And one of the two things that I was going to bring to your attention is that a new moon, of course, is a time for creating something new and setting your foundations, and getting clear on your intentions and setting your foundations. And that's particularly potent at the moment for the Capricorn new moon, because the Capricorn is an earth sign. It's about building structure, building something new and creating a solid structure for what it is that you'd like to create. And now is the perfect time to do that. And the irony of it too is that we're in a Mercury retrograde, which is also about reviewing, revising, revisiting, and not trying to push ahead commercial or communication issues, but just about being really, really clear. And this is a great time, and probably we've got about 17 or 18 days left of it. I think it's due to go direct on the 25th of January. We also happen to have a Jupiter retrograde as well, and I was just reading about that, and because this is sort of fairly new for me to start talking about planetary aspects, I'm starting to see how powerful they are when we tune into them and take advantage of the timing. And this Jupiter retrograde in Virgo, which is another earth sign, is about how growth, which is Jupiter is related to growth and expansion. Growth actually becomes more introspective, so it's more like having a good look at where we would like things to grow, but being sure that we don't grow it so fast that it can't be, that it has nothing to hold on to, and that if it's too fast, it's a house of cards, and that it can blow over or fall over at any point in time. It's a bit like saying building a castle on sand. And so, this growth aspect that Jupiter represents, especially in the sign of Virgo, which is the earth sign, as I mentioned, is kind of perfect because it enables us to slow it down and make sure that what we're creating is really solid, and it really has the ability to get the tree roots to go down deep into the earth and be solidly connected, so that when the times come where it's a little bit more volatile, there's a solid foundation and the roots are strong in the earth, but the trees themselves that you're growing, the business or the whatever your plans are, can move and sway in the wind, and know that they're not going to get uprooted because the roots are too shallow or the foundation isn't solid. So I think that's probably enough for the time being, and I'm going to, just dropped a few cards. I'm going to pause for a moment. I'll be right back. Well, thank you everybody. Here I am back again. I've obviously, been an interesting moment there. The cards just took off on me on the wind, and so here we are. I'm just going to draw a card that is relevant for what's happening at this time for everybody, for the collective. And my sense at the moment is very powerful. Here we go. Interesting card. It's called Sorrow. And sorrow is an interesting one because it looks like the essence of this card at this point in time is not about feeling sad for things changing, and that's because that's probably what will come up. Big change is possibly coming, but the reality is that we shouldn't grieve the loss of something, but more just looking at how we can transform through the experience rather than grieving the loss of something. For example, you might lose a job, or you might leave your home, or you might have to let go of your pets, and this can cause a great deal of sorrow. You might lose a loved one, and it causes a great deal of pain and sorrow that we sit in, and sometimes it can be hugely overwhelming. And what we don't realize is that if we don't allow the sorrow to move through us and grieve what we need to grieve, then we don't clear the slate and enable something new to come towards us. So sometimes, something new is disguised by the sorrow of a loss in some way, shape or form. And it can get confusing, and we feel like we can't move on because it's too painful. We can't stand the how much we miss what it is that we used to have, that person, that pet, the kind of lifestyle that we may have lived. But in actual fact, if they didn't move on, then we have no room for growth because we're hanging on to something that isn't serving us any longer. If you lose a loved one, it's more than likely time for them to go, and their journey is over. And, even though it's painful for us to lose them, our journey is moving and changing, and we need to recognize that our journey is our journey and their journey is their journey. We can't interlink them and say that, they can't leave us or we can't live without them. It genuinely doesn't work like that. It's not the paradigm that we live within. So what I'm getting here is that there is actually, in the midst of all the pain and the sorrow, there is an opportunity for great growth and for also new opportunities to come through that may actually give us more than we realise. It may never feel like that with the loss of a loved one, but when you have the loss of a way of living that doesn't serve you, or the loss of, the kind of lifestyle you're living that is so far beyond your means that you actually can't maintain it with your finances, there's a whole lot going on in here, and you need to acknowledge, and it's challenging to do that, but the sooner you can acknowledge that, then the sooner you actually can move into a clearer space and a clearer way of being centered and grounded within yourself. So the sorrow is the grief and the letting go, but in the same breath it can be an enlightening experience having let go as well, and we're not carrying anything that doesn't serve us anymore. So the wind and the noise and everything else is getting a little bit crazy now, and even though I'm sort of having a great time out here, it's a little bit overwhelming, and I think, yes, I can feel it's not a peaceful new moon, it's a pretty full-on energetic new moon, and I can feel a lot of it flying around me. And I tried to do this recording yesterday when the weather was perfect and it just wasn't right, and here I am in the midst of all this massive, crazy, windy, noisy, trafficy chaos, and it seems to be flowing. I'm happy with that personally. So thank you very much, everybody. Look forward to tuning in to the next reading, which will be the full moon in January for Leo on the date here. I haven't got the date, but it's going to be, I think, the 25th or the 28th, maybe the 23rd of January on at 3:45 p.m. Here on Maui. So of course you need to work out what time zone you're in for the date on that date for it to be your time zone. Leo full moon coming up. It's very exciting. Look forward to doing the next recording, and much love. If you feel the need to, please feel free to share. Thank you.